Here with Concordia head wrestling coach Josh Watts to preview the 2025-26 season. As we record this, a little over a couple of weeks from the first official tournament of the new season. Wanted to look back quickly at year one for you. There's definitely some steps forward for the program. How satisfied were you with some of the progress you saw throughout last season?
I think we saw a lot of growth last year. I was pretty proud of the effort the guys put in. Right for them having a new staff come in and the changes and so forth. Thought the first semester was a bit up and down, then we kind of hit our groove second semester. So I was really happy with how they kind of finished the season and how well they competed.
Well, you had more of an opportunity to have an off season and put together a recruiting class going into this year. What did you maybe place your focus on, like in recruiting for this year?
Well, we wanted to make sure we brought in guys who are the right fit for the program, who fit in with the guys that we have, and we look for certain attributes of wrestling wise and so forth there. But I think we got a good group of guys that came in, a few transfers and some guys out of high school, and I think they complement our team well. They fit in well with the dynamic on the roster, and things have been going pretty good so far.
And just again, last season, 8 national qualifiers. You had 2 All-Americans. One of them was Hagen Heestand, a national runner-up at 149 pounds. How impressive was it, just what you saw from him and able to do that in his first year at Concordia?
Yeah, Hagen's a really good wrestler. Obviously, he was a state champ in Iowa coming out of high school and was at the Division I level. And I've known him since he was little. So I knew what he was capable of, and we were able to get him in a really good rhythm second semester. And he was right there to win a title, and we're hoping that we can get over that hump here in the next year or two.
Hagen's one of 6 of those national qualifiers that is back on this year's roster. How would you maybe compare the depth that you see right now from a year ago at this time?
Yeah, I think our depth is significantly better than what we had last year. I think there's going to be a little bit more competition to be part of the 12 going into the conference tournament at the end of the year, and competition, is great for everyone. So we'll have guys competing for spots to be in that 12 at the end of the year, and a lot of that's going to be opportunities to compete at competitions and kind of see who puts together the best resume when it comes down to it. So,
how about out of those other qualifiers? We talked about Hagen. What have you noticed about their growth? And I'm sure they're determined to try to get back to that point again this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, now that they've been there, want to taste getting on the podium. There's a lot of motivation with this squad in general, not just the returning national qualifiers. Seen a lot more buy-in early on. A lot of guys who trained over the summer. We're doing some, like Stevie Barnes is going to move down a weight class, stuff like that. So I believe Baird's probably going to move up a weight class. Last year he wrestled 74, and then we moved him up a weight class for the conference tournament at the end, and he did well there. So I think keeping him up would be a smart move. But they're working hard. They're bought into what's going on. The guys who are changing weights are all in on changing those weight classes, and it's an exciting time.
Any other impressions just from practice so far? I know you've had some time now to work with guys since everybody's been back for the fall semester.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is a comfort level with the coaching staff. Last year being new, me and Coach Crosby, we're getting a lot more questions this year than last year. I think last year was a lot of guys were kind of a little bit standoffish at first and trying to figure out where I was coming from, what I was expecting, and stuff like that. And I think now there's a greater understanding of my philosophy, my system, and the planning that we have into it. So we're getting a lot more back and forth, which is great because then we have a little bit more growth and we understand kind of where they're coming from on the athletic standpoint. So
just knowing what the GPAC is like now and as a conference, how do you maybe like the way your program is positioned to have success within the league going forward as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good conference, and I think we just need to focus internally on getting better. Every competition that we have and improving. That was our philosophy last year. We didn't look down the road at future competitions or anything like that. We just need to maximize each day. The team set their goals, and we're going to work towards those goals. But those goals are really far down the line. So we want to make sure we're maximizing each day, and I think if we do that, we'll be in a good position to compete well in the GPAC.
Well, from a lineup perspective, how close are you to kind of having the type of competition that you want to have at each weight class?
I think there's some weights that we still need to bring in some more competition at. I think we need to build a little bit more depth in some areas. I think that's probably anybody and everybody out there. So nothing unique there, but the more competition you have in the room, the better. I'd like a variety of styles in the room too to compete with. Just from a training standpoint, it gets kind of bland if you're wrestling against the same style every day. So definitely looking to expand and add more depth in a lot of different areas, but our depth this year is improved from the previous year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know from a family perspective for you, last year was kind of a challenge, but what's it been like now that you've kind of been settled in the community, and how have you maybe appreciated being in the community so far? Yeah,
I enjoy Seward. I like the community here. Having my family here is nice. Last year was a little odd when living in a motel and stuff for 6 months with 2 teenagers, and then having my little two and my wife an hour and 20 minutes away or so. It feels a little bit more permanent than before. It felt like I was kind of here and there, and like I wasn't really here yet for 6 months. So definitely feeling a lot more settled in. The family's enjoying it, so we're liking it all.
And we've got Dairy Queen runs and Amigos, plenty of options.
There you go.
Well, I wasn't going to necessarily ask you what specific goals are, but what do you think maybe a successful season looks like for the program this year?
I think just continual improvement and buy-in. So if we can build on what we were doing last year and see them continue to grow individually, they're bonding really well already as a unit. So that's good to see. But I just want to see them just continue to get better week to week, competition to competition, and if they do that, I think we'll be in line to accomplish the goals that they set.
All right, I'm just gonna go with some quick off-topic type of questions.
Okay.
So, on the day of a duel or a tournament, do you have a routine or a superstition?
I'm superstitious in general. So I mean, if we wrestled well in a previous competition and I was wearing something, I'll wear the exact same thing. So I try not to push that superstition onto my guys, but I'm pretty superstitious, yeah.
Like some lucky socks or something?
Yeah. Or it's usually like the color of the shirt. If I'm wearing a black shirt and we wrestle well, I'll wear a black shirt until it stops working.
What's your favorite local restaurant then to take the family?
La Coretta.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could pick a singer or a band to play at Bulldog Stadium, who would you choose?
Incubus.
Okay. What's something fun you got to do over the summer?
I went and I flew out to San Diego to work a camp for 4 days, I believe. So my wife and I, they flew my wife and I out there, and we got to go spend some time out there and meet some California wrestlers and teach them technique.
What's your favorite professional sports team or athlete?
The Bears. I'm a big Bears fan. It's a rough life.
Go Bears.
Yeah.
Hey, they've won a few games.
Yeah. Well, it's due. It's definitely due, and I think the fans deserve it. So.
Do you have a hidden talent?
I don't think so.
No hidden talents?
No.
But a hobby outside of wrestling?
Other than watching football, just hanging out, watching my kids do sports.
All right. End on a SCO Dogs.
SCO Dogs.